So the video today is going to be about my most influential bands. There's a lot of bands that I like, but there's three that are most influential to me, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm Ches Morone, a drummer, someone that likes to make videos, primarily play drums and record them. And yeah, that's what this channel is about. It's about giving an excuse to play drums again, feeling that love for music again. Haven't felt it in a long time, and it feels great playing a lot of the albums and the songs that I loved growing up with, as well as new stuff that comes along. But yeah, this channel's about the beauty of nature and combining that with music. The genres primarily are like alternative rock, classic rock, electronic, techno, EDM, I don't know. I like bands more than I like genres. A lot of bands have influenced me in my life. I'm a big fan of a lot of bands. Drummers as well, of course. I mean, drummers are a big influence on me, but bands in general, just their music combined, the whole sort of orchestration of the composition and how they're put together, and how some bands keep on releasing album after album and they just get better and better. Pretty freaking cool, man. Just thinking about that. Like some of these bands I listen to, like I'm going to talk about today after, Deftones is an example, but other bands like Pearl Jam and some of these bands that I grew up with are still touring. They're still out there playing. Sorry to see Matt Cameron leave, one of my favorite drummers of all time from Soundgarden. He's been with Pearl Jam for I think 21 or 27 years. I can't remember what the number is. Crazy. But yeah, I can go through the list of bands that I love, from Nine Inch Nails. Trent Reznor is a big influence on me. Like I said, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, Metallica, Slipknot, Deadmau5, the Chemical Brothers, the Propeller Heads, Prodigy. The list goes on and on. Okay, so the number 3 band is Deftones. Deftones has been a big part of my life as both a listener, a fan of music, and as a drummer. White Pony was the first time I really heard Deftones, and man, that opening track and just how that drum kit and that guitar sound and just Chino's voice, and just what a band, man. Like, amazing. And they released some of the best albums, like, I mean, from Self-Titled, Adrenaline, Diamond Eyes, Saturday Night Wrist, No Koi, I think it's called. Sorry if the spelling is wrong. And then we have Gore and we have Almost. And this new single sounds amazing. I heard it the other day and I'm blown away by it. And I'm so hyped for this new album because it's the same producer that made Diamond Eyes. And that, in my opinion, is production-wise is their best album of all of them. So White Pony might be up there, but Diamond Eyes is definitely at the higher tier of production quality and overall volume and sound. So I'm really excited for the album. And I've seen Deftones twice, blew me away both times. If I do find some of that older footage, I'll add it now. Can't beat Chino's voice. Chino's voice is just, it's mesmerizing. It hallucinates you when you listen to it. It's so beautiful, and he's still going, and he still sounds incredible, and he sounds just as good live as he does on the album, sometimes even better, if you can believe that. So if you've never heard of Deftones, or you kind of gotten into them but you're not really sure, I highly recommend checking out their full catalog, because everything is incredible from what they produced, and they're just an incredible band all in all. So the number 2 band is Radiohead. Radiohead has been a big part of my life. I've listened to them through their whole career. It started with the Bends, and just with that video of the people just dropping, nobody understands what's going on. Geniuses at making music videos, let me tell you. But what it is about Radiohead is the simplicity and Tom's voice, and just how he talks about how he lyricizes and how he sings. It's just so emotionally captivating. It's honestly, it's just, it gives me kind of like chill vibes when I listen to Tom York. Every time I could listen to them over and over again live, their catalog, and I'm always blown away and impressed by the whole band. Phil on the drums to the whole band, to Tommy, Johnny, all of them. They're an exceptional band, and I really, really hope they're getting back together, because the Moonshaped Pool was an amazing album to go out on. What a great album that was. I wasn't a big fan of King of Limbs. If I was to remove a Radiohead album from the catalog personally, yeah, King of Limbs is not something I really resonated with too much. That's why a Moonshaped Pool was so important, because to me that sounded more like the Radiohead I was expecting in the end. But yeah, Radiohead, what a huge influence. I've seen them only once. That's another reason why I hope they get back together, so I can see them again. Yeah, just the tone, that creepiness, that ability to get the listener just encapsulated and just really have them hooked in and listening the whole time, and just, again, like a hallucination, like under some trance. Radiohead. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend it. If you've heard of them and you've heard one or two songs, you're not really sure, but all of their albums sound different, so there might be one that or two that resonate with you. So now we're at number one, and number one is Tool. Danny Carey's the reason I started playing drums. Ænima is the first album I heard from Tool, and when I heard Stinkfist for the first time, I was completely blown away. And then when Ænima came out, I still remember the commercials of the intro of Stinkfist with the cover kind of zooming in. So cool. And yeah, and then I got Ænima, and wow, what an experience. It's still my favorite album of all time, Ænima. My favorite song on Ænima is Push It. But I think the most technically impressive song on that album is Third Eye, although I love every track on that album. And after I got Ænima and I got into Tool, I got into Undertow, which is another incredible album. I think that Flood is my favorite song of that album, but like every song, one to the next. And eventually I got backwards and I went backwards to Opiate. And with Opiate, I guess the song Opiate's my favorite track. And then I just remember Lateralis coming out, and it was such a long time after Ænima, and just being so hyped. And hearing The Grudge for the first time and being so excited, and man, what an album that is. Then you have 10,000 Days, and what a song with Wings of Marie and 10,000 Days, and Rosetta Stoned. What a trip that song is, man. My favorite drum track on that album. Yeah, just incredible. And then Fear Inoculum came out, and I was really worried when Fear Inoculum was coming out that there's no way that this band would be able to produce something as good as their back catalog, and I was so wrong, because Fear Inoculum is probably my favorite work of art from the band. Ænima is still my favorite album, but when it comes to the celebration of their career and their songs and just how far they've come and how much they advanced as musicians and writers and composers, just incredible. All I need to mention is Tempest. Tempest is just the perfect Tool song in my opinion. It has something from every album. It has the sounds, the tones, the riffs, the beats. There's a reference to something from every Tool album I find in that song, and that solo by Adam Jones is just so freaking good. Yeah, and I hope that they keep on making music. Yeah, Tool, Maynard's Voice, Danny Carey, Justin Chancellor, and Adam Jones. What a band. I don't know where I'd be if Tool wasn't around, to be honest with you. I probably would have played drums, but it wouldn't have made me get to the level I wanted to. And yeah, they're a huge influence on me. I've seen them 4 times live, and the most memorable one is the Hummingbird Center in Toronto, very private, intimate venue. Me and my brother-in-law went, and it was just such an amazing night. The band actually took intermissions and talked to the audience. It was just so cool and so intimate. Yeah, Tool, my favorite band of all time, the greatest band of all time. No, I'm just joking. For me anyways. But yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts. Like, are these bands that you like? Are there other bands that are your favorites that, you know, you like to talk about? I'll comment below if there's other bands that I love. I'm sure there are. Let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Ches Maroney, and have a good one. Talk to you next time.